for a long time, a little bit more offbeat, and I think that's what like got Woody Woodmansey interested in it as well, like with the David Bowie connection, and that's what we wanted to do. But I think they weren't really going for that, the darker side of the things which we wanted to do. That's what we've tried to do on this album, give it a little bit more depth, rather than just like I'm not going to deride my own work, but something like the bubblegum pop, we've like dispensed with some of that, and I don't know. I mean, someone described it as indie dream pop, whatever that means. So I have no idea. But
indie dream pop. I don't think I've heard that one.
No, neither did I.
We have to have categories and subcategories for all of our music now. We were talking about an opening song that we played on this show. And it's from a. Well, I don't know if she's German, but she's in Germany now. She's based there, Flora Camille, and she had a mix of ethereal soundscapes with some Oriental strings worked in and trap beats, and it was really a weird concoction.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's like every person has a place, every music style has a place.
That's right, yeah.
And, so we've seen a lot of that, and yes, I agree with John. The sound that you have now is a definite maturation of what you had before, and I can understand. We've had artists in the past who have voiced the same thing, the fact that the labels, you know, they want to churn out hits and make money, so they pressure you to do stuff that you might not want to do on your own. I know Tommy James was a great one to talk to about that, because he was telling us that, you know, with Roulette Records, which was a front for the mob, they didn't really know how to handle a successful act or what to do, so they pretty much let him do whatever he wanted to. So most of the hits that he had back there in the 60s and into the 70s were, you know, legitimate stuff that he came up with, not something the label told him to do. But in most cases, that's the case. The label tells you what to do, and I'm really glad that you got yourself in a position where you can produce and publish your music and not have to worry about the label. It's one of the things John and I have done with the show here. When we put it together, we decided we would do, you know, we would do something we wanted to do the way we wanted to do it. And here we are talking to you many years later, and so glad you've come with us. Do want to ask you before you leave, I want to ask you about this next song we're going to play. But first, let me do what we always do, and that's give you a chance to do some self-promotion. So tell the folks how they can contact you, find your music online, and, you know, all of that stuff.
Well, we're Fab Pop UK on Facebook. I'm not really great on all the... We're on Twitter under Fitzsimon and Brogan. We've got our own website, FitzsimonandBrogan.com. We're on Apple, we're on iTunes, we're on everything. We're right across the board. They can find us anywhere, and they can buy the actual physical CD from Cool Cat Music there in New York, I think, in the USA. And that's Cool Cat with a K on everything, Cool Cat, and the music's got a K on the and they specialised in power pop music. You know, that's why we went with them, because you know, they get what we're doing. But you mentioned Tommy James. I wouldn't mind putting out Crimson and Clover, to be quite honest.
Yeah, it was a great tune, and he was really, really a lot of fun to talk to the times we've had him on here. I know we had one interesting thing. We were, before the show, Tommy and I were talking, and we were comparing health notes, and we got to talking about a thing called the nuclear stress test they give you to see, you know, how strong your heart is, and he was telling me that he had the misfortune. Here it's a test to see if you are susceptible to a heart attack, and he had a minor heart attack while he was taking the test. So,
oh my God!
The interesting things you find out doing this show. Neil, before you go, last shot, I want to have you tell us about the song we're going to play next.
All right,
Toy for Juliet.
Right, that's got Pete Thomas of Elvis Costello's band in Attractions on drums, and apparently it's reached number 1 on iTunes in South Africa. Don't ask me why, but it has. It seems to be very popular out there.
There's a growing music community down there.
Yeah. I mean, I was really quite surprised. We were actually above Bruce Springsteen, which I take as a bit of an honor. Yeah. I never thought I'd see the day.
Don't knock it. Maybe you can get him to open for you sometime.
Yeah, I wish.
Neil, it's been a blast.
Okay.
Say hello to your partner for us.
I will do.
And, we wish you all the very best. Don't stay away so long. Don't stay away so long.
I won't.
Great.
Nice
Love
to talk
to have
you both.
Our pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, Neil Fitzsimon of Fitzsimon and Brogan. Thank you very much, Neil. And here is a toy for Juliet.
In the lonely midnight hour, he made his plans of how to leave you. There were clues in his words. You got what you deserve. One day you're gonna find it was only a question of time before he stood up and walked out on you with a deceitful sleight of hand. He threw into the arms of another man, then lived all alone in this cold, cruel world. He looked for love with too many girls. It shows you can never tell. Juliet, don't forget, he was not your type. The clown's face was always hidden in that place where all sins are forgiven. He bought a cheap golden ring, but now she knows it don't mean a thing. It seems he changed his mind. He's not the loving kind. Juliet, you should have seen the signs. With a deceitful sleight of hand, he threw into the arms of another man, then lived all alone in this cold, cruel world. He looked for love with too many girls. Oh, it shows you can never tell. Oh, Juliet, don't forget, he was not your type. With a deceitful sleight of hand, he threw into the arms of another man, then lived all alone in this cold, cruel world. He looked for love with too many girls. It shows you can never tell. Juliet, don't forget, he was not your type. With a deceitful sleight of hand, he threw into the arms of another man, then lived all alone in this cold, cruel world. He looked for love with too many girls. It shows you can never tell. Juliet, don't forget, he was not your type.
Fitzsimon and Brogan. That's A Toy for Juliet. And we had to play that because their promotional rep, Michael Stover from MTS Records, mentioned to me that that's one of his favorite songs by Fitzsimon and Brogan, affectionately referred to as FAB. So if you look them up online, you can look for the initials capital F, small case A, capital B. And that stands for Fitzsimon and Brogan. We thank them so much for sharing their music and stories with us. And there's something about a good Brit band that you can always tell it's a Brit band. Now, granted, in Toy for Juliet, you could hear the accent came through on that tune, but not so much on Persuasion, but you can still get the sound and feel of the Brit band, can't you, John?
Yes, absolutely. No, they did a good job on there, nice production values on it, but yes, it's kind of reminiscent of the old 60s British invasion music, and a very,
I was thinking the same
very
thing.
Retro, if you will. I like it.
Especially the guitar work.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that about wraps up another show, ladies and gentlemen. We are thankful for our guests, Fitzsimon and Brogan, and Mr. Randy Seedorff, for sharing their time, their stories, and, of course, their music with us, because it's all about the music as well as the people who make it. Remember that if you have an artist, or if you are an artist, that should be acknowledged on the show, have your music played, or maybe even guest on the show, drop us a line. Email David at TheDavidBowers.com and tell us the name of the artist and why you think they should be on the show. Include a link to some of their music if you want. That make it a lot easier for us to get an idea of who you're talking about and whether they should be on the show or not. And who knows, maybe we'll have them on the show. And John Bon Jovial, we always look forward to you taking us home.
That's right. Time to get out of here, folks. You did it again. Thank you so much for spending the hour with us. We truly are grateful for your presence and, of course, for your input. The David Bowers Awards is broadcast around the world from the studios of Computer Help USA in beautiful Naples, Florida, and, of course, from the Valley of the Sun, Tempe, Arizona, and is available for free on most of the major streaming services. Be sure to follow us here at the David Bowers Awards on Blog Talk Radio, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and, of course, on Facebook. And join us next week for the David Bowers Awards, Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern on WRFZ-FM 106.3, Rochester, New York. That, of course, being Rochester Free Radio. And on Blog Talk Radio, Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, and 6 p.m. UTC. So until next week, for the David Bowers and Nick, our marvelously geeky engineer, I am yours truly, the lovably legendary John Bon Jovial. Wash your hands, love each other, keep your distance, get your shot. We'll see you next week right here on the David Bowers Awards.